Hey, listeners. It's been a hot minute since I've done any of the Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles, but I'm here today to finish them up. And I wanted to let you know that I have hired my own sound engineer, and by hired, I mean enslaved, Anasaurus Rex. You can find her at Anasaurus Rex on Twitter, and she also writes some fabulous erotica reviews for the blog. Such classics as Rammed by the Raptor and Naked in the Forest. Go check them out. But anyway, what I'm really here to tell you is that she's doing some cool stuff with the audio. All the voices are still mine, but she's altering them a little bit to perhaps protect the terrible writing. Okay, enjoy. Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles by Grace Ann Parsons. Chapter 9. Letter at Dinner. Author's note. Hello, friends. I apologize for how long it took to get this chapter out, but I have good news. Starting tonight, I will be taking a beginning writer's course at the local community college. Through all the hate from evolutionists, feminists, and Romanists, there has been some legitimate criticism of my writing skills. My mother did her best, and she certainly did teach me a lot, but grammar was not her area of expertise. It's taken some convincing. The hubby wasn't sure I'd have the time to get everything done if I started taking this class. But I've written up a schedule, and I think we can make it work. Smiley face. One week into the school year, Harry was gradually starting to get used to the everyday routines at Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. There was a breakfast in the Great Hall every morning, and then there was a prayer session led by the Reverend. The Slytherins went off on their own to have their own, quote, prayer sessions, unquote, in their own way. And the Hufflepuffs and the Ravenclaws prayed with the Gryffindors. But the Hufflepuffs complained about the Reverend quoting the Bible, and the Ravenclaws complained that the Reverend didn't really seem to hate sinners, he just hated sin. After the prayer session, the little ones went to their classes. There were regular math and English classes, of course, although they were of a higher caliber than one would find in a public school. And then there were Bible studies and Christian history. After that was lunch in the Great Hall. After lunch were more classes about American history and constitutional law and missionary training. After these classes was dinner in the Great Hall, after which the students had free time. It was just such a dinner that Harry was eating now. He was sitting with his new friends, Hermione, Ronald, and Dean Thomas. This food is certainly delicious, Harry observed gratefully, and he was savoring a bite of perfectly roasted chicken. It really is, Dean Thomas concurred intelligently. He was dressed quite respectably today, and he was wearing a button-up shirt and clean blue jeans, and his hair was neatly combed. Hermione nodded in agreement. The yellow bow she had tied her hair back with bounced up and down. Ronald grinned widely, but remained silent as he shoved another handful of deep-fried Brussels sprouts into his little mouth. Ronald ate breakfast and lunch with his family, but he was eating more and more dinners with these Gryffindor friends of his. It never ceased to amaze him just how nice they were to him, even though he wore a different hat. A little unconditional friendship can really go a long way in a person's heart. It was then that a bunch of beautiful people with wings wearing glowing white robes swooped through the Great Hall's huge windows. Yellow halos hovered over their heads, and they wore brown leather satchels around their shoulders. They gracefully reached in their satchels and gloriously flung envelopes down to the students below. "The mail's here," Dean observed accurately, and he shielded his eyes with his hand as he gazed up in wonder. Harry propped his chin up on his hand and dreamily watched these magnificent postmen distribute their wares. He did so love to look at angels. He was surprised when a letter fluttered down to him, and it landed lightly on the table in front of him. He had never gotten a letter before. He smiled innocently at the angel who had delivered it, and the angel waved back. "Would you look at that?" Dean Thomas uttered fluently. "You got a letter, Harry." With excited hands, Harry broke the seal and took out the parchment that was inside the envelope. He laid it out on the table and saw the familiar slanting, tidy handwriting.
Dear Harry, how are you enjoying your first week at Hogwarts? I hope you're enjoying it a lot. How about you come over for tea this evening after dinner, and you can tell me about it. Hagrid.
Harry smiled as he folded the letter and put it back in the envelope. Good old Hagrid. What does it say, Harry? Hermione questioned shyly, and she played with one of her smooth, lovely curls. Hagrid wants me to come by for tea, Harry reported excitedly. Would you all like to join me? I'd love to, Hermione replied sweetly. That sounds like fun, Dean Thomas responded eloquently. Could I come? Ronald asked tentatively after he had swallowed his Brussels sprouts. Harry, Hermione, and Dean Thomas exchanged a knowing look, and then Harry answered kindly, Of course you can. Ronald smiled gratefully before going back to his Brussels sprouts. When dinner finished, Harry got to his feet and then declared boldly, Let's go. Author's note. Blessings. Oh my God, guys, what just happened? As always, I'm not a professional narrator, but I think, well, I know we're getting closer to the end of this epic battle between good and heathen. So, I'll see you next time. Until then, peace.